Wow. Assalamualaikum and warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera and salam Malaysia Madani. I would like to extend a warm welcome to Associate Professor Dr. Farah Ayuni Shafi'i, Program Advisor and Lecturer of the Urban Health and Sustainability Development, Faculty of Health Sciences, UiTM Puncak Alam Campus. Dr. Subramaniam Karupanan, EXCO members of Malaysian Association of Environmental Health, MAE, and also distinguished panelists, participants, and all esteemed students of the Master of Environmental Health and Safety program. I am Nurul Aida, semester 2 of Master in Environmental Health and Safety student, and I'll be your MC for today. On behalf of the organizer, it is my great honor to extend a warm welcome to all participants to the session 2 of the Urban Health Forum 2025. For your information, this forum is a continuation from the session 1 focus group discussion that was held on 19 June 2025 at the Eco Recycling Plaza, Petaling, Jaya. So the FGD is focused on 4 critical environmental themes such as plastic waste, food waste, construction waste, and also climate change. So each of these themes represent an area of the urgent concern that requires innovative and sustainable solutions. Hence, this forum will be the platform to present the insights from the FGD that was successfully conducted last month. This program is proudly organized by Environmental Health and Safety Master students by the coursework supported by our strategic partners, International Federations of Environmental Health, IFEH, Malaysian Association of Environmental Health, MAE, and also Majlis Bandaraya, Petaling Jaya, MBPJ. We would like to express our sincere gratitude to the Mayor of Petaling Jaya, Tuan Haji Muhammad Zahari bin Haji Samingun, for his continued support and contributions to the success of the previous program. So, before we begin, let us invite Associate Professor Dr. Farah Ayuni Shafi'i from the Faculty of Health Sciences, UiTM Puncak Alam Campus, to deliver her welcoming speech. Please welcome Dr. Farah.
Thank you, Miss MC. Can you all hear me? Boleh ya, Aida? Boleh dengar?
Very clear, Doctor.
All right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning to everyone. Warm welcome to Dr. Subramaniam Karupanan, EXCO member of the Malaysian Association of Environmental Health, MAE, representing MAE for today. And we're also glad to have very recently just now, Associate Professor Dr. Sarva Mangala Pravina, Department of Environmental and Occupational Health, Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, University Putra Malaysia, UPM. So both of these distinguished guests today are our poster assessors for today's event. And also to our respected panel members and all postgraduate students of the Master in Environmental Health and Safety and everyone joining us today. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you all to session 2 of the Urban Health Forum 2025. I would like to begin by extending my sincere appreciation to all our strategic partners and expert panelists who have made this program successful. This program is a student-led initiative by the Master in Environmental Health and Safety students from the Faculty of Health Sciences, UiTM Puncak Alam, in strategic collaboration with the Petaling Jaya City Council, MBPJ, PJ Eco Recycling Plaza, MBPJ, Malaysian Association of Environmental Health, MAE, and the International Federation of Environmental Health, IFEH. I would also like to share warm regards from the Dean of the Faculty of Health Sciences, Professor Dr. Muhammad Haize Abdul Manaf. Just a quick introduction about today's organizers. The Center for Environmental Health and Safety Studies at the Faculty of Health Sciences, UiTM Puncak Alam, has produced many graduates at both undergraduate and postgraduate levels. The Master in Environmental Health and Safety by coursework has been offered since 2016, and the students joining us today are entrusted to run today's event. This focus group discussion and the Urban Health Forum is part of the course assessment for the course Urban Health and Sustainable Development, aiming to give students exposure to event and program management, qualitative research, data analysis, and presenting research outcomes. So I hope this is a learning process for them and keep them prepared for the expected outcomes in the working field. I always believe this is something that AI cannot replace. So I hope it is a learning experience for the students. All right. Meanwhile, the Malaysian Association of Environmental Health MAE is a professional body and a full member of the International Federation of Environmental Health IFEH based in the UK. MAE has been active in uplifting the environmental health profession both in Malaysia and internationally. So would also like to personally thank TS Rudi Aswadi Abdul Rahim, the Honorary Secretary of MAE, who has been the key person to oversee and guide students on technical aspect for event organisation since 2019. UiTM and MAE have enjoyed a strong collaboration since 2019 through forums, seminars, focus group discussion, webinars, and podcasts. Every year, MAE and UiTM work closely with local authorities to highlight pressing urban health issues. And so this year, we are honored to have the support of IFEH, who contributed to FGD and helped bring these urban health concerns to the global stage. We are also truly grateful to Datuk Bandar of Majlis Bandaraya Petaling Jaya yang berusaha Tuan Haji Muhammad Zahari Haji Samingun, Mayor of Petaling Jaya, for the warm welcome to partner with us on this year's program. This Urban Health Forum is not just another academic event. It is a platform for meaningful dialogue and collaboration, bringing together professionals from diverse backgrounds such as government agencies, academia, industry, NGOs, and the local community with the goal to address pressing urban health and sustainability challenges. Throughout this forum, we aim to shed light on critical urban environmental health issues, encourage cross-sector partnerships, and identify practical community-based solutions for healthier cities. Each group was represented by expert panelists from various sectors, and the discussion actively involved postgraduate students from the Master in Environmental Health Safety program. So as we proceed with today's online session, I hope it will serve as a platform for reflection and knowledge exchange. Let us continue to work together to promote sustainable urban living and resilient public health system. Once again, thank you to our co-organizers, Majlis Bandaraya Petaling Jaya, Malaysian Association of Environmental Health, International Federation of Environmental Health, and PJ Eco Recycling Plaza, as well as to all our invited panelists and participants. Your support empowers the next generation of environmental health leaders and drives us closer to a healthier urban future. I'm also happy to share that the intake for October 2025 for Master in Environmental Health and Safety by coursework is now open. It is a 3-semester program. So please visit study.uitm.edu.my for more information on the admission. We hope to see you all in Puncak Alam. Thank you and enjoy the session. Over to you, Miss MC.
All right, thank you, Dr. Farah, for inspiring words. Now, before we move on to the presentation session, let us watch a special video message from one of our strategic partners, Dr. Bruno Zakovic, the President of the International Federations of Environmental Health, IFEH. Please enjoy the videos.
Hello everyone. Greetings from the International Federation of Environmental Health. I'm Dr. Bruno Cvetkovic, currently President of International Federation of Environmental Health. In my role, I represent a global network of environmental health professionals and institutions dedicated to advancing public health through sustainable environmental practices. As a President, IFEH continues to lead international collaboration, promote evidence-based environmental policy, and support education and innovation in environmental health. Our recent global initiatives include campaigns on clean air, climate resilience, and waste governance, all aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals called SDGs. It is with a great pride and appreciation that we extend our warmest congratulations to the organizers of the Urban Health Forum 2025, as this forum marks a significant milestone as the first collaboration between IFEH and the Faculty of Health Sciences University Technology, MARA. We are also glad to also collaborate with Petaling Jaya City Council. We are honored to contribute to this message in recognition of a program that so clearly supports our shared mission. Thank you to the Dean of the Faculty of Health Sciences, Professor Dr. Hajir Manav, for the significant joint collaboration. Urban Health Forum 2025 is a student-led initiative organized by postgraduate students of the Masters in Environmental Health and Safety by coursework program under Urban Health and Sustainability Development course. Congratulations to the Dr. Farah Ayuni Shaifi as the course instructor and also the master's students. This year, a forum-themed collaborative dialogues on sustainable urban health systems provides a vital platform for dialogue, knowledge exchange, and community engagement on sustainable waste management and urban environmental health. The forum aims to gather experts, policymakers, and innovators to exchange ideas and showcase successful waste management implementation, promote sustainable practices such as source reduction, recycling, and circular economy principles, inspire local and international collaboration, and empower future professionals through education, workshops, and collaborative action. The forum features a series of focus group discussions that explore key urban environmental health issues, each closely aligned with the IFEH global priorities. Focus Group 1 is about urban plastic waste and microplastic pollution. Focus Group 2 is about food waste transformation. Focus Group 3 is responsible construction waste management. And Focus Group 4 is in the industries involving role in climate action. We are especially honored by the diverse participation in these focus groups, which include voices from academia, public and private agencies, non-governmental organizations, policymakers, and industry leaders. This multi-sectoral engagement is essential for developing holistic, actionable solutions to complex environmental health challenges. We are also pleased to highlight the active support of Petaling Jaya City Council, which has aligned its Petaling Jaya Smart, Sustainable and Resilient 2030 strategic framework with the goals of Urban Health Forum 2025. Under the leadership of Mayor Mohamed Zari, Mayor of Petaling Jaya City Council, is advancing comprehensive urban sustainability agenda that includes circular economy cities, is promoting waste reduction, recycling, and food waste transformation, which is supported with the Focus Group 1 and Focus Group 3. Low carbon city, driving climate action, green infrastructure, and sustainable construction, which aligns with the Focus Group 2 and Focus Group 4. Safe and resilient cities, ensuring public health, disaster preparedness, and environmental safety, which is the core to all focus group themes. Learning city, enhancing community education and capacity building, reinforcing the academic and outreach goals of Urban Health Forum 2025. Smart city and e-governance city, leveraging digital tools and data-driven platforms for environmental monitoring and policy integration. Society 5.0 city, empowering community participation and localizing the SDGs, amplifying the impact of the student-led initiatives. We extend our sincere appreciations to Mayor Mohamed Zahri for his visionary leadership and steadfast support of this initiative. His commitment to sustainability, innovation, and youth empowerment is a model for cities worldwide. In this spirit of collaboration, we are also proud to acknowledge the important role of the Malaysian Association of Environmental Health as a full member of IFEH in bridging international, national, and local efforts. MIHA has been instrumental in linking IFEH and UiTM and MBPJ through shared goals and mutual support.
Thank you for the inspiring message, Dr. Bruno Zarkovic. We now proceed with the first presentation by the Group 1, titled The Urban Plastic Waste and Microplastic Pollution, Emerging Health Risks and Integrated Management Strategies. These groups brings together the stakeholder from local government, industry, academia, and civil society to address the growing challenges of the urban plastic waste and microplastic pollution. The session explores the emerging health risks linked to the microplastic pollution's exposure while identifying integrated strategies for waste reduction, regulatory innovation, and community engagement. But before we start, a gentle reminder that the question and answer session will take place after the presentations from Group 1 and also Group 2. Let us now invite the representative from Group 1 to begin their presentation. Please proceed.
Thank you, Ms. Aida. A very good morning and thank you for being here. My name is Izwani binti Abdul Hamid and today I will be presenting findings from a focus group discussion conducted at Eco Recycling Plaza in Petaling, Jaya on the 19th of June 2025. The session involved students from the Master of Environmental Health and Safety Program by coursework, UiTM Puncak, panelists from Majlis Bandaraya Petaling Jaya, MBPJ, SW Corp, University Science Malaysia, Greenpeace Malaysia, and also the Malaysian Plastic Manufacturer Association, MPMA. The discussion highlighted that Malaysia generates approximately 1.7 million tons of plastic waste each year. Despite this massive volume, only about 24% of it is actually recycled. This gap between generation and recycling has led to the increase of plastic waste in landfills, waterways, and urban environments. Microplastics, defined as plastic particles smaller than 5 millimeters, are now present across a wide range of ecosystems. They have been found not only in rivers, estuaries, but also in ocean water, coastal sediments, and even agricultural soil. Among the most prominent sources identified during this discussion.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Izwani. Can you please open your camera for the presentation?
There might be some problem with my connection, I think, because I opened two accounts here.
Okay, all right.
Okay, can I proceed?
I think, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Among the most prominent sources identified during the discussion were single-use plastics, personal care products containing microbeads, improper waste disposal and runoff from floods and urban areas. What is most concerning is where these microplastics are turning up. Panelists noted that they have already been detected in drinking water, in seafood commonly consumed by the public, and even in human tissue, including the lungs and placenta. This widespread contamination highlights the urgency of treating plastic pollution not just as an environmental issue, but as an emerging public health crisis. Panelists identified several systematic obstacles that are hindering Malaysia's ability to address plastics and microplastic pollution effectively. One of the most persistent problems is the weak enforcement and existing regulation. Although frameworks like the Solid Waste Management and Public Cleansing Act provide guidance, local authorities often struggle with implementation due to limited manpower and resources. Another issue is low public awareness. Despite efforts to promote recycling, many residents do not properly segregate their waste. This challenge is compounded by a lack of consistent education and communication on how and why to separate plastic from other waste. As a result, household segregation remains poor in many communities. The discussion also highlighted the heavy reliance on informal recycling system. Informal waste collectors and sorters play a critical role in recovering valuable materials, but they often work without regulation, support, and protection. While they contribute to the overall recycling rate, they are also exposed to significant health hazard. Finally, Malaysia continues to suffer from inadequate waste management infrastructure. Collection systems are uneven, sorting technologies are outdated, and there are not enough facilities to handle biodegradable plastics or advanced recycling processes. Without a coordinated upgrade of infrastructure, the country will remain ill-equipped to manage the growing volume and complexity of plastic waste. A key part of the discussion focused on how microplastic make their way into the human body. One of the most direct and concerning pathway is through food. Marine organisms like fish and shellfish ingest microplastic from polluted water. These particles accumulate in their bodies, and when consumed by humans, they may absorb into the digestive system. In addition to seafood, crops may also be exposed to microplastic contamination. Microplastic in agricultural soils introduced through plastic mulch, irrigation infrastructure, synthetic fertilizers, or treated sewage sludge can migrate into plant tissues. As a result, fruits and vegetables cultivated in polluted soils may carry these particles from farm to table. Packaging is another significant contributor. During manufacturing, transportation, or storage, plastic bottles and caps can release microplastic fragments into the water and beverage they hold. This is especially likely when containers are exposed to heat or physical stress, allowing invisible particles to leach into consumables. Airborne exposure is another route often overlooked. Microplastics are released into the air through the shedding of synthetic textile, indoor carpeting, and dust from urban infrastructure. This airborne, this airborne fiber may be inhaled and deposited in the lungs, particularly in environments with poor ventilation or high traffic density. Unlike larger particles that may be filtered by the body, smaller microplastic can penetrate deeper into lung tissue where they may persist and accumulate. The health implications of microplastic exposure were discussed at length and highlighted as a major public health concern. Panelists Panels were particularly concerned about how microplastic interact with organs and systems in the human body. Researchers from University Science Malaysia presented scientific evidence showing that microplastic particles can enter the bloodstreams, lung, digestive system, and reproductive organs. Once microplastic enter the bloodstream, they may trigger immune responses and severe as carriers for toxic substances such as persistent organic pollutant, heavy metals, and bisphenol A. This interaction can lead to oxidative stress, which contributes to inflammation and cardiovascular risk. The the circulatory system is especially vulnerable because one contaminant enter the blood, they can be transported throughout the body and deposited in vital organ. In the lungs, inhaled microplastics can reach the smaller airway and alveoli, where they may cause chronic inflammation. Prolonged exposure may trigger respiratory conditions such as asthma and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. This pathway is particularly concerning in urban areas with high levels of indoor dust and traffic emission, where daily inhalation of airborne fibers may go unnoticed. In the intestinal tract, ingested microplastic may irritate the intestinal lining and disrupt the balance of gut microbiota. This imbalance may contribute to the development of metabolic disorders such as obesity and diabetes. The stomach, the stomach and intestine are often the first point of contact after consuming contaminated food or water. Yet their role in microplastic toxicity is not widely addressed in public discourse. In the reproductive system, microplastics have been linked to hormonal disruption and reduced fertility. Studies on animals have shown evidence of testicular damage and reduced sperm quality following microplastic exposure. These particles can act as endocrine disruptors, interfering with reproductive hormones and potentially affecting fetal development. Alarmingly, microplastic have also been found in human placental tissue and breast milk, indicating prenatal and postnatal exposure. These findings raise ethical and medical concern about long-term impacts on child health and development outcomes. Despite all this, Malaysia has not yet developed a centralized health surveillance system to monitor microplastic exposure in human populations. Without consistent data, it becomes difficult to track the burden of microplastic-related illness or to design health intervention that reach the most affected communities. Research presented in the session showed that microplastics are widely found in Malaysia ecosystem, including inland and coastal areas. Studies in Penang and along Klang River found microplastic in river water, sediments, and fish. These particles are mostly made of materials like polyethylene, polypropylene, polyester, and polyethylene terephthalate, which come from everyday consumer product and packaging. One particularly concerning finding come from marine studies in Terengganu during the COVID-19 pandemic. Surface water around key marine parks, including Perhentian, Redang, and Kapas, recorded microplastic concentration up to 588 particles per liter, indicating severe contamination in areas previously considered as ecotourism hotspots. Despite has been attributed to increased disposal of masks, gloves, and packaging waste during the pandemic period, combined with limited waste control during lockdown phases. Penang's mangrove estuaries were also found to be severely affected. In recent sampling, surface water contained 1,407 particles per liter, while sediment samples show up to 4,000 particles per kilogram. This result highlights the vulnerability of mangrove ecosystem, which serve as critical nursery grounds for marine life and natural buffer for coastal communities. In addition to aquatic ecosystem, microplastic are now being detected in agricultural lands, particularly those near rivers and informal dumping sites. Contaminants enter through water runoff, degraded plastic mulch, and use of fertilizers containing treated sewer sludge. Once in the soil, these particles may migrate into plant tissue, increasing the risk of dietary exposure. Panelists also emphasize that ultraviolet radiation and physical abrasion accelerate the degradation of larger plastic into secondary microplastic waste. These smaller fragments are harder to detect and far more likely to penetrate biological and ecological systems. Despite the severity of these findings, Malaysia does not yet have a comprehensive national monitoring program to track microplastic pollution in food, water, and the environment. Without such a system, effective intervention remains limited and reactive rather than preventive. The discussion turned towards Malaysia's current efforts in plastic regulation and strategy. The Plastic Sustainability Roadmap and the Solid Waste Management and Public Cleansing Act provide a national foundation, but enforcement at the ground level is inconsistent. MBPJ and MPMA shared insights from their local programs, including the Wednesday household segregation model, which aims to increase recycling and reduce landfill dependency. While these initiatives show promise, they require long-term funding, technical support, and stronger enforcement. SW Corp added that the lack of integration across agencies limited effectiveness, especially when municipal and federal rules are unclear. Panelists call for more coordinated governance and dedicated teams to oversee program delivery. The Malaysian Plastic Manufacturers Association proposed creating an industrial compliance index that measure corporate performance in plastic reduction. Another idea was the introduction of halal certification for recycled plastic products, which could enhance consumer trust and expand market potential. However, voluntary effort alone will not be enough. Without policy enforcement and public participation, this framework cannot fully address the scale of plastic pollution in urban areas. So, to conclude this, the focus group discussion held at Eco Recycling Plaza offered important insights into how plastic waste and microplastic pollution are affecting Malaysian cities and the people who live in them. What emerged was a shared understanding that microplastic are no longer an invisible threat. They are already present in our food, our air, our body, and possibly in future generation. The challenges we'll face are clear: weak enforcement, poor infrastructure, limited monitoring, and low public awareness. Yet, the discussion also revealed that Malaysia has both knowledge and the community will to act. By connecting researchers, policymakers, industries, and citizens, we can begin to build an integrated and sustainable response. Microplastic pollution is not only the environmental problem, but also a serious public health concern that requires coordinated efforts, scientific dedication, and community attitude change. To create a healthier and more resilient Malaysia, collaboration and long-term investment are essential. Immediate research and stricter pollution control policies are necessary to protect public health. So, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to present to you a video from Dr. David Dajek, the Chief Executive Officer of the United States National Environmental Health Association, NEHA, about this very topic. A brief introduction about Dr. David Dajek. He received a doctorate from the University of Michigan and a master's degree from the University of Utah. Dr. David was chosen for his impressive roster of national candidates due to his wealth of management and leadership experience, ranging from local health to federal agency. And now, let's get to his video.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. David Dijak. I'm Chief Executive Officer of the United States National Environmental Health Association, and I'd like to share a few thoughts with you this morning on microplastics and the role of environmental public health professionals in this emerging issue. My favorite metaphor for examining practice in the year 2025 is one that I'll refer to as an isthmus. An isthmus is simply a piece of land that connects other two pieces of land. And for purposes of this talk this morning, I believe it's a bridge that represents change from the past to the future. On the past is how we've traditionally worked in environmental public health as compliance officers, as professionals who look at regulations and enforce them. In the United States, this often exhibits itself as the Clean Water Act or the Clean Air Act, the Toxic Substance Control Act, and the Food, Drug, and Cosmetics Act, among others. In other words, there are clear lines in the sand about what is safe and what is unsafe. As we move from left to right on the slide, you can see that I believe that we're now moving into an era not of compliance, but one of conformance, in which I include microplastics. What do I mean by conformance? Where there is no regulation to enforce, where professional judgment is important. Climate change is an example of that. Nutrition may be an example of that. Heat stress for public health may be an example of that. Wildfire smoke may be an example of that. And microplastics is also an example of that. There is no standard that I'm aware of for microplastics in food, in water, in soil, and so we need to use our judgment. Having said that, there are 4 things I believe the environmental public health profession can and should be doing at this time to help address this emerging environmental health issue. Number 1, I believe we need to assist society in identifying high-risk populations. Those people that live adjacent to waterways, those that live on the seashore, and those that eat a lot of seafood which is often festooned with microplastics. I believe identifying those parts of the public that are at greatest risk would be of great assistance to the decision-making bodies of your country. Number 2 would be translating science into actionable insights. Let's face it, microplastics are complicated. There's oxidative stress, there's the gut biome, there's inflammation, there's endocrine disruptors. For a lot of people, they don't understand what all this means. And I think it's our role as public health scientists to explain to them why microplastics are important for us to be monitoring and addressing. Number 3 is to assist elected officials with developing new policies. We understand the science, we understand the exposure, we understand the root causes. I believe we need to be very effective at working with elected bodies to help develop policies that will reduce risk over time. And then finally, to take our role as risk communicators very seriously. We are trusted sources of information in our communities. Let us use that trust to advance conversations about microplastics and what we need to be doing about them moving forward into the future. So in summary, there are 4 things I think we should be doing right away, in addition to the basic science, and that is identifying high-risk populations, number 1, translating science into useful information for the general public, number 2, informing public policy, number 3, and being a trusted source of information or quality risk communication, number 4. I hope you have a great conference. It's wonderful to connect, and I hope to see you in person sometime soon.
There, what an insightful information from Dr. David. Dr. David shared some eye-opening insights that really make you think. To tackle this issue effectively, we need stronger teamwork across government, industry, researchers, and societies. Laws must be enforced, with real accountability, and waste collection and recycling system should be improved. At the same time, we must encourage changes in our daily plastic habits to reduce reliance on a single-use plastics. Key to success will be rooted in education and community engagement, raising public awareness at every level of society is essential, and empowering local communities with knowledge and tools to drive solutions will ensure greater resilience. Sustainability, Sustainability must remain a guiding principle, building a cleaner, healthier Malaysia for all. That concludes my presentation. Now I pass the floor back to the MC, Miss Aida. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Wani. Thank you for the group one and also Dr. David Ajak for the insightful thoughts and sharing on microplastics. Now, we welcome group two with the presentation titled From Urban Kitchens to Landfill Transforming Food Waste for Malaysia's Health and Sustainability. These topic selections addressing the food waste, which focus on the strategies to cut down on the food wastage, repurpose surplus food, and promote more sustainable consumption practices. Solutions are ranged from the improving food distribution system to changing the consumer's behavior. Without further ado, I kindly invite Group 2 to begin the presentation. Please welcome Mr. Shame.
Syamil, you're on mute.
All right, thank you. Can everybody hear me? All right.
Very clear.
So, thank you, MC, Miss Aida, for the wonderful welcoming. So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to Associate Professor Dr. Farah Yuni, so our advisor for the USF 2025, also lecturer for the Urban Health Sustainable Development subject in UiTM Puncak Alam campus. Dr. Subramaniam, ESCO, members of Malaysian Society Environmental Health, MAE, panelists, students, and all participants. So I'm glad you could join us today, even though it's a Saturday. So thank you for all to attending. So my name is Muhammad Syameh. So today we not just talk about our problem. We're here to ignite a conversation to inspire change and perhaps to make you think different about your next course meal. So I will be presenting an outcome finding from session 1 focus group discussion conducted at Eco Recycling Plaza in Petaling, Jaya on the 90th of July 2025. This session involves students for Master of Environmental Health and Safety Program by coursework UiTM Puncak Alam, panelists for Faculty Health Science UiTM Puncak Alam, Postgrande Hotel Putrajaya, Secret Recipe Manufacturing Sdn Bhd, Kilang Makanan Mami Sdn Bhd, Majlis Bandaraya Alostar, and Solid Waste Management Public Cleaning Corporation SW Corp. So we have a lot of varieties from our panelists to help us to do this presentation and manuscript. So our title is From Urban Kitchen to Landfill, Transforming Food Waste for Malaysian Health and Sustainability, aim to shed light on the crucial issue that may affect every single one of us and our incredible planet. We will explore its alarming reality, its profound impact, and most importantly, integrated strategy for a more sustainable and resilient future. So let's start a quick poll in this morning. So you can type yes or no on the checkbox. The question is, how many you think that Malaysia have a lot of food? Meaning Malaysian have waste a lot of food. Do you think that Malaysian has Malaysia has waste a lot of food currently. Maybe I cannot see my chat box. Yeah, so a lot of you say yes. So from this slide, you can see, not this slide, from this poster, you can see about over 70,000 tons food are discarded daily for our nation. This figure, according to the data from the SW Corp, is truly grasping scale, even though our waste to that's enough waste to fill approximately 7 Olympic-sized swimming pool every single day. So imagine that a 7 Olympic-sized swimming pool that we can fill up the waste. So here's the kicker. The part that truly digests is nearly a quarter of this discard food, almost 24%, is perfectly edible and fit to consumption. So this is data from SW Corp. This also is not about uneaten leftover. It's about a systematic inefficiency. It's a missed opportunity that sees available resources, energy, and labor literally thrown away. So now, where does most of this food ended? So sadly, it burned to our landfill. When organic matter like your forgotten fruits from last night or nasi lemak, so decompose without oxygen in this environment. It releases methane, and methane is not just any gas. It's just a powerful greenhouse gases that approximately 25 more efficient at trapping heat in our atmosphere than carbon dioxide over 100 years. So this make food waste a critical and often underestimated contribute to climate change. As if that wasn't enough, it's just a composition, it's also produce leakage, a toxic, highly contaminated liquid that could seep into our soil and underground, contaminating vital natural resources and posing a serious health risk. Right. So our project directly addressing to these critical conditions, we aim to thoroughly explore underlying challenges, identify the existing gap in our current system, and proposing innovative, practical, and multifaceted strategies to transform food waste from a burden liability into a valuable sustainability sources. This initiative is directly aligned with United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, especially on SDG 12, Responsible Consumption Production, and SDG 13, Climate Action. Are we okay, everyone? So I get a little bit faster? Sorry about that. So to really fix this, we need to change. We need to become a detective. So we need to understand where all this food waste is coming from. So from our discussion and FGD, based on the composite data, is food waste staggering at 44.5% for our municipal solid waste. So this figure is higher than plastic, diapers, or paper. Is clearly show that our primary focus needs to be. So Malaysia consistently record one of the highest per capita food waste figures in Southeast Asia in 2023. In 2022, we generate an astounding 230 kg of food waste per person. So that thinks about it, that is like one person throwing out a small refrigerator full of food every year. So this figure is for the household is 81 kilogram per person, retail waste is 79 kilogram per person, and out-home consumption is 70 kilo per person. So in this contrast sharply like countries like Philippines, which is their throw is 110 kilo, Indonesia is 104 kilogram. So this is emphasizing our urgency in situation lah. So like diving in these primary sources, household, even though it's very hard for, I think household is very hard for us to digest inside that, because of course, is often the largest contributor. So in our homes, food waste is commonly is from over purchasing, poor storage practice like tossing food in a bowl instead of fridge. Okay, cooking in excessive, preparing a larger portion that can lead in consumption, resulting frequently as leftover. So think about it: a family buy a large bag of vegetable that only half of it rotted in the fridge because it wasn't used in the time. Despite public awareness programs, study shows that individual changing behavior is often hard to sustain a long-term support. So we need more than just a good intention. So coming from a commercial establishment is a hospitality and food service, mainly is restaurant, hotel, cater, supermarkets. They are major player. They often produce waste from customer unpredictability. We often prepare overfood to ensure the constant availability, lead to surplus when demand is lower. Oversized portion, of course, serving portion so generous the customer cannot finish them. Buffet overproduction, even though buffet is delicious, is notorious for generating a huge amount of waste due to need to keep everything fresh and abundant. So, fun fact, hotel, especially for 5-star one, increasing driven by the environmental, social, and governance (ESG) factors. Our insight from Paul's Grande Hotel Putrajaya, they show that they prepare food based on precise guest numbers and redistribute perfectly edible leftover to the staff and welfare home. So, following strict safety rules, that is one of the great steps that we cover during this FGD session. So, industries. Okay, food from manufacturing processing sector contribute significantly product quality rejection. Items that not meet strict aesthetic or packaging standard often discarded. So expired unsold stock product reaching the expired date before hitting the shelf or being sold. So the challenge here is stringent food safety regulations sometimes restrict repurposing or donating this perfect edible reject food. Right? This is why manufacturing generally have a strict internal waste sorting. This regulation barriers is significantly hurdles. So now let's talk about the real cause. The consequences of this precise food waste problem extend far beyond overflowing bins and unpleasant odors. They ripples through our environment, our economy, and very sustainability to our resources and creating a cascade of negative effect. So for the environmental effect, we discussed the food composition in landfill, release the methane. I cannot stress enough, 25 times more potent from carbon dioxide. This directly fuel climate change, leading to more frequent and intensive extreme weather, a rising sea level, and disrupt to our delicate ecosystem. Then there is a leachate, which is a highly toxic contaminated liquid that can slip into our soil and groundwater, poisoning our vital agricultural land and essential drinking water sources. It a silent killer to our environment. For economic burden, this isn't just an environmental problem, it's a huge financial drain. Food-related industry from manufacturer to restaurant incur a sufficient monthly expenses, waste, hauling and disposal. For instance, Post Grande Hotel Putrajaya reported spending a staggering 7,000 ringgit Malaysia each month for hiring contractor for managing their waste. So imagine that this is a significant operational cost ultimately passed to us, the consumer, through a higher product rate, prices, or it is directly into the business prospect, hindering growth and sustainability. Fundamentally, every kilogram of food waste means wasting available resources, energy, labor, and water. Investing entire journey to the farm to the fork. Resource depletion. So it's often overlooked, but it's crucial. Every single piece of the food is wasted and embodies the waste of all precious resources that when into producing it. Think about energy cultivation, processing, refrigeration, transport. There's an immense of amount of water for irrigation, cleanings, the labor of countless individuals, the packaging material create and consume. When food is wasted, these embedded resources were also effectively waste, putting unnecessary and unsustainable strain to our planet, finite natural resources, which is we richly consuming for our future. And then we go to land capacity. Food waste constantly is constituting over 40% of Malaysian municipal solid waste. For our existing landfill are reaching their operation limit at alarming and unsustainable rate. This means we are consistently need to find a develop a new landfill site, which is invariably face a strong public opposition due to environmental concerns and approximately issue. This establishment of the new lands will also come a significant financial loss. Accelerating landfill exhaustion is a ticking bomb for our waste management infrastructure, demanding an urgent alternative solution, which is the solution we need to find right now. So if the problem is so clear, the impact is so severe, why we are still wasting so much. Despite a growing public awareness, several persistent challenge and system loophole continue to hinder our progress. So this is a critical barrier that we must address on, which is number one is weak policy and reporting enforcement. So we have low enforcement on the existing regulation among the commercial food producer. Crucially, there is no significant rules or mandate for the industrial sector to systematically tracking their raw material usage or the food waste production. So it's often voluntary. As a result, no centralized or standardized national platform for the food waste data. This fragment data make it incredibly difficult to assess the real problem or to measure the progress effectively. Number two is insufficient initiative or penalties. There's a lack of strong financial initiative like tax exemptions, grants, or equipment subsidized for business to reduce waste. So conversely, there's an absence of robust penalty for the food waste generation if no real cost for wasting. What is the motivation for changing? So high cost with low digital readiness stir the small and medium enterprise SME from adapting sustainability practice without a clear benefit. And then number three, okay, fragment data management. Information collected from the waste contractor is often inconsistent and not centralized. So this data is frequently owned by the contractor itself, make it not easy to accessible for national view. So it's like a try to solve a puzzle when half of the pieces are missing. So legal fragmentation. So this is a big one. So not all Malaysian states have fully adopted an Act 672, which is Solid Waste and Public Cleansing Management Act. So this lead to inconsistent enforcement and varying standard across the region, creating a confused patchwork of regulation. This is also information from SWCOM. So in some areas, business are even legally required to separate food waste and basic infrastructure like waste bin is still missing. So this is weaken our national environmental policies. Also and then we continue number 5 or 4, I forgot. So uneven public awareness and leadership gap. So generally awareness about food waste is growing, knowing that what to do is inconsistent, especially in household. People might know the food waste is bad, but not how to sort it properly. So here's a critical point. We lack of hero organization or campaign. We need to entitle willing to take charge for the entire food waste cycle, from the collecting to the process of selling the valuable and product like a compost. With this campaign champions, many initiatives will remain isolated and unsustainable. So So what is the solution? So how we turn this challenge into opportunity? We propose a comprehensive multi-pronged approach focusing our 4 interconnection key strategies areas. This strategy emphasizes a strong partnership among governance, academia and communities. Think of the winning team effort. Number 1 is strengthen the policy and enforcements. Okay, mandatory reporting. We need the mandate food waste tracking for the key industry player, just like we do for the schedule waste. And this data will be our roadmap to progress. Clear initiative and penalties. Introduce a real initiative like a tax assumption or green certification for business that excel, and yes, implemented a robust penalty for non-compliance. Accountability drive changes. Standardized financial system. Let's build an undefined national platform for reporting food waste data and potentially verified by licensed contractors. This gives us the full picture of how our nation progressive. Okay, number 2 solution is multi-stakeholder collaboration, strategic partners. This isn't a single entitled job. We need a strong long-term collaboration. Government setting policy, academia doing the research, industry implementing the solution, and the public participating actively. Centralized infrastructure. Imagine a centralized waste management center managed by dedicated champions, streamlined collection, advanced processing like composing or BSF, farming and distributing valuables derived products. This makes a system more effective and economical valuables. So number 3 is amplifying technological innovation and adaptation. So composting composting machine, deploy advanced of composting machine everywhere. So public markets, food court, large housing area, on-site waste management is efficient. And then BSF is a black soldier fly technology. Okay, this is a game changer. BSF allow very efficiently convert organic waste into a high protein animal feed and rich biofertilizer, dramatically reducing landfill waste. So of course, BSF also have an advantage and disadvantage, but it's a good effort for us to explore, and also maybe we can explore in vermin composting, which is using worm, and biogas generations. Smart solution for industrial revolution 4.0, which is future. Smart packaging, sensor monitoring freshness, know that food is still good, or LOT monitoring, big data, AI, robotic, automizing inventory logistic to reducing human error in industry processing line. This means less waste and more effectiveness. So lastly is for the advancing awareness education, a scale-up program where we need to engage education program in school, cooperating with Ministry of Education, and for the operator and every household, it's a teaching our practical skill, preventing waste, sorting properly, and composing. So other than that, a behavior changing campaigns. This campaign must be backed up by infrastructure, easy acceptable bins, clear collecting points, simple guidance, and we need to make it easy to doing right things. And then we target the public awareness. Let's really hammer home the environmental economic cost and teach the people the correct way to recover waste. And then industry innovation sharing. So company that find a great solution could be share their innovation with all other industries. So to share the sustainable mindset means we all wins. So for the conclusion, food waste in Malaysia is indeed a complex and multifaceted issue. But I want to leave you with a powerful thoughts. It's not insurmountable. The changes persist, and we have outlined a clear path forward by strategically advancing robust policy framework, empowering strong governance, industry, academic partnership, embracing advanced and innovative technology like black soldier fly, bioconservation, and modern compositing, and directly propagating public knowledge and promoting behavior change Malaysia has immense potential to effectively diverse the organic waste from rapid filling our landfill. This transformative journey will not only significantly diminish environmental costs and mitigate the climate change impact, but also propel us to through circular sustainable technology, guarding both our previous environment and long-term health and well-being for our economy, for our communities, for the generation to come. This vital journey requires a shared commitment to fundamental change. Our collective future profoundly depends on how effectively we manage our waste today. So let's make the changes together. So thank you, everyone. That's all for my presentation. I pass back to Miss Aida.
All right, thank you for both groups for the insightful sharing. We will now open for the floor for a 10-minute question and answer session. So we'll start with the questions for the group one first, followed by the group two. Let us first give the floor to our assessor, Dr. Subramaniam, for any questions for the group one first. And then we'll proceed with the next group two, and then proceed with the question from the chat box. All right.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Thank you for inviting me. Group one, I just wanted to ask you one question. This is when you do this discussion, FGD discussion, what was the objective? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Miss Izwani or any of the group one members could answer these questions.
Uh, Thank you for the question,
Yeah.
Dr. Subra. First and foremost, we would like to collect the most integrated or mutual agreement, or sort of among organization, among panelists, like from academia and researchers and also industry player, so that we can sort of looking forward for something that we can do to improve and to cope this problem more effectively in the future.
Okay, so in that case, do you think you achieve your objective?
We are trying our best. Our best to promote or to suggest the best solution for the, I might say, for the government.
Okay. Okay, I think you should answer the other questions in the chat box. There are some questions in the chat box for you to answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. We move to the questions from the chat box that I received for the group one. Okay. So the first question is from Mr. Muhammad Rohaizi bin Riyadzi. So based on the question, he asked, if possible, can we have your opinion regarding the 2021 to 2030 framework on plastic? What is the current milestone and how this framework can be successfully by the end of 2030? And then he also asked you what you would suggest about the education for all level of age. Can you elaborate with example to reach the targeted age group? So
Okay.
yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you for the question. Thank you for the kind words and thoughtful question. I try to answer this both part briefly. First, the 2021 to 2030 plastic sustainability roadmap is Malaysia's long-term plan to reduce plastic pollution and move towards a circular economy. Some progress has been made, like mandatory waste separation in Kuala Lumpur and pilot programs promoting friendly alternative. However, challenges like low recycling rates, lack of infrastructure, and limited awareness outside big cities remain. To succeed by 2030, stronger enforcement, more recycling technology, and better cooperation between government, industries, and like I said, the public are needed. The public uh, attitude changes are needed. Education and community involvement will be the key changing behaviors. And secondly, education at all levels is crucial to creating lasting awareness and habits. For young children, storytellings, games, and recycling activities can build awareness. For teenagers, school projects like cleanup campaign and competition can motivate action. And at the university level, students can participate in sustainability project for adult workplace training and community workshop that can teach practical skills. Seniors can be involved in simple community-based recycling efforts, inclusion, and in conclusion, with continued efforts, especially through education, the roadmap can bring real change by 2030. Yeah.
All right, thank you. There is one more question from the chat box for Group 1. They ask if, from Mr. Amzar Zafri Alimi, Mrs. Wani. Okay, there is one more question for Mr. Amzar Zafri regarding the microplastic pollution presentation just now. The question is, any case studies done to compare initiatives done by other countries or peers? So any of the group members could answer this question?
Miss Aida?
Yes, Ms. Izwani?
I think I can answer the question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, very clear.
Sorry for the interruption. Um, so, thank you for the question.
Okay.
Yes, the other countries offer valuable lessons for Malaysia in managing plastic waste and microplastic pollution, such as Japan is a great example with its high recycling rates. Their success come from clear waste separation rules at the household level, strong national policies, and public awareness. Still, public are taught from a young age to separate waste properly. For German use the extended procedure responsibility EPR system, where companies are responsible for recycling the packaging they produce. This encourage eco-friendly product design, and Malaysia has started testing this system, but it still need to be expanded. Indonesia's National Action Plan on marine plastic debris use community-based approach like coastal cleanup, waste bank, and where people can exchange plastic waste for food and transport credits, I think. And this also helps raise awareness and supports low-income communities. And by this example, show that effective plastic waste management needs strong policies, still need community involvement and also education. If Malaysia can adapt these approaches to fit in our own context, we can make faster progress towards our 2030 goals. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Wani. And then I would like to open this session also to Dr. Pravina from UPM, University of Putra Malaysia, to comment as well on this topic as she is one of the microplastic research experts in Malaysia. So I open the floor to Dr. Pravina.
Thank you, Ms. Nurul Aida. Okay, thank you, Group 1, for your presentation. Thank you for the invitation, Dr. Farah, Prof. Subra. Okay, for Group 1, I think I'll have one question. Can you explain how this microplastic transition from urban plastic waste into human exposure? We will take it in Malaysian context. Anybody would like to try? How you can explain the microplastics transition from this urban plastic waste into human exposure routes? We will take in Malaysian urban context.
Thank you, Dr. Salva. Okay, so I think, can you hear me?
Yes, clearly, yes.
So I think how urban plastic waste transition into human exposure is your question, right?
Yes, we
Okay.
are going to take from urban plastic waste.
So I think the problem in urban area is that plastic waste accumulate in our river, and then, as you all know, microplastic is fragmented from this plastic waste, and then mainly we consume seafood, and then the seafood, as you know, come from the river as well. So most of the problem come from the consumption of fish, and then shellfish, which, as we all know, shellfish is like a filter for all the water that come from the urban area. They filter all these particles, which then we consume itself, and I think that's how this microplastic uh, can enter the human blood through our ingestion of seafood.
Okay, thank you, Hazika, for the question. And that's all. Back to Nurul Aida.
All right, thank you, Dr. Pravina and Ms. Hazika. Okay, now we proceed to the question and answer for the second group, which is related to the urban kitchen to landfills. Okay, I open this session to Dr. Subramaniam again for the question and answer session for this group.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. Again, I would like to ask the same question to the group too. What is the objective of this FGD?
Right. Thank you, Dr. Subra, for the question. So for the objective for the FGD is we try to explore more on the industrial parts of our food waste. We try to look at this perspective, what we can do, their technologies, and what we're exploring. There are others inventive in exploring their what is it? Exploring their innovation, what they do to reducing the food waste. So the objective is we try to emphasize what is the hotel do, what is the food industry, manufacturing and restaurant do, and then we try to come out what is the gap for the industry. So we try to cater on industrial part rather than focusing on home. But as long we come out together, we give a general conclusion for the how to reduce of the food waste.
Okay, when you touch on the sustainable development goals, you're mentioning something related to your presentation. So how do you think this can be achieved?
Okay. For the sustainable goal, I think mainly is for reduction of the food waste. So, what impact to this information or this manuscript or this poster that perhaps people more aware that we are facing this situation. So with our provided solution that we can overcome it and achieve the sustainable goals.
Okay. Now, I'm just curious because your title is Urban Kitchen. So I'm wondering where these urban kitchens are coming from, other than homes and industries.
So basically it's from industries and restaurants, small restaurants, and then hotels, and then manufacturing that produce food. So this is what we targeted actually.
Okay. I think I'm okay with that. Thank you.
All right, now we move on to the questions from the chat box. All right, there is one question from Mr. Amzar Zafri. The question is: there is need for mandatory GHG emission reporting and tracking, considering its highest waste composition and methane production due to accumulation in the landfill. So, what is your thought about this statement?
Okay. For the GHG reporting and tracking.
Yeah.
So one of our panelists also is not from this panelist, but for construction site, worldwide holding landfill in Jeram Sanitary Landfill in Selangor. They already monitored and reported GHG emission, particularly in methane, because I think this is legal and need to be maintained. But here's the problem: many landfill, especially illegal dump site and order and unsanitary landfill, do not have any GHG reporting, even though the legal fields compliance level and transparency vary, especially if no enforcement mechanism in the place. So reporting is often voluntary and limited, but we need to, as I said, that we need to this is need to be mandatory. Currently is voluntary. So I think is for me is GHG emission reporting on the methane itself is very important to our measure is how our landfill is currently undergoes for that kind of methane gases.
All
I hope
right.
that answer your question. Sorry. But
All right, thank you, Mr. Shamil. There is one more questions from the chat box. So I think this question is quite interesting from Mr. Muhammad Ruhaizi. So he said that people love to try something new, something attractive. They are craving desire. So based on that, what is your opinion regarding the social media influencer who keep coming, reviewing, and promoting the foods or recipes to be tried by their followers? So recently we have heard some like Khairul Saming's follower just try the examples and then give the try the cookings and the recipes, and most of the foods they have been discarded. So what is your thoughts about this one?
all right. That is a good question.
Yeah.
So we are living inside social media. We are currently. It's not just influencer. Or this is the problem is not for my thought, his problem is not isn't the influencer itself, rather the potential of unintentional consequences when the content is created. So it's not paired with a strong emphasis of how we reduce waste or emphasize on the sustainability and mindful consumption. For example, maybe the influencer can incorporate tips for using leftover ingredients, suggesting common substitution for items, encouraging the viewers to adapting their recipe to their pantry. So I think this is overall is how the content creator do their content. So maybe we can, it's going back to what I said, is awareness and perception on that thing. So living in the side of world of social media, so I think it's a good opportunity that we can educate the content creators, especially those like big influencer like Karami, for education for the how to minimize the waste product, our food waste product. So I think is that is my answer. So any of my members want to add on?
Yeah, I agree on that, Mr. Shami. So maybe the influencer has a chance to give awareness to publics about the importance of the food waste and on this trying the new recipes and all that. So by having the disclaimers, awareness, I think that's a very good approach so far lah. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Mr. Shame. And now there is another one question from Mr. Rahaizi as well. He asked, in your opinion, how can high-rise residents contribute in processing food waste into compost piling when they have limited land or pot size surface for soil only? Do you have any answer for that, Group 2 members? Or anyone from the floor?
All right. Is there anyone else can?
Okay. I try to answer.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. As of now, we know that the high-rise building have a limited space and also high waste generation and high dwellers, but we can use Japan style, which is high-rise resident can compost using compact indoor system like bokashi bins, vermicomposting, which is using the worm bins, or still aerobic composters that fit in kitchens or balconies. This system requires minimal space, produce no fall odor, and also yield compost liquid or salt enhancer. So as for the community base, they need to give some efforts like shared composting bins or collection programs at the building level can also support the collective composting without needing individual land space. But this one is quite challenging because our residential or dwellers lack of knowledge or exposure regarding the method that can be used.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Johaini. I think I would like to open this question and answer session also to Dr. Pravina from UPM. Maybe she has any questions on these topics.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Nurul Aida. Thank you, Group 2, for the presentation. I think your post is nice to see all the information. So my question is, here you highlighted that 24% of 24% of discarded food is still eatable. So what is the main cause of this 24% discarded food, which is still eatable, being thrown into or thrown as a waste, in this case, from urban kitchens or from household? Your point number 3 in introduction. What are the causes then when the 24% of the food are still eatable but discarded daily?
Right, thank you for the question. So your question is why from the 24% that I said that the food is still that been thrown away is still edible. So what is the causes mainly for that things to happen?
Yes.
So that is I think is mainly is like I said is for hotel itself, buffet, they overproduce their food. So when the time already, for example, 6 hours, even though the food it haven't been eaten, so it still have to thrown away because of that regulation on the uh, food consumption regulation. And I don't remember the regulation, but some of the food regulation of the consumption because need to eat within the 6 hours of preparing the food. They have their policy on that. Other than that, for the housing, I think is mainly maybe poor meal planning, which when cooked need to some of ingredients are expired. So bill, for example, household they have sales, so they tend to buy a lot of that, not noticing their expired date, and then some of that could lead to that food waste also. So I think that's my great answer. So are you
Okay, all
okay?
right. Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Shami, and thank you, Dr. Pravina. And then I would like to add one more question to Group 1 from Miss Siti Nur Ain Nur Hanafi. The question is, do you think Malaysia's Plastic Sustainability Roadmap 2021 to 2030 supports the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals? So any from the group members or maybe from the master students would like to answer these questions?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, very clear, Alia.
I'm sorry, but can you repeat the question again one more time, please?
All right. So the question is, do you think Malaysia's Plastic Sustainability Roadmap 2021 to 2030 supports the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals (SDG)? Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you for the question. I think is yes because it support the SDG 6, which is clean water and sanitation. Which by removing plastic waste from our water. So yeah, I think that's it.
So the approach is supports the achievement of the
The,
SDG lah. For your, yeah. Okay.
yes,
All
so that we
right.
can ensure the cleaner water for our consumption in the future.
All right, thank you, Miss
Alright.
Alia. All right, so I think that's sum up all the question and answer session for this both group. So we'll now take a short 10-minute breaks, and we'll come back again by 10:45 for the presentation of Group 3 and also Group 4. So please feel free to take this time to stretch or maybe grab a drink to refresh yourself, and I'll see you back 10:45 a.m. Thank you. So, while waiting, just a reminder for those who have not filled up the attendance form yet, please kindly take a moment to do so and scan the QR code for validation. So, maybe multimedia could share or display the QR code. All right. Thank you.
Thank you Cik Ruhaizi for joining us. From National Institute of Health, Ministry of Health. Siapa lagi familiar names ni? Amzar, thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me too. Hi, Dr. Farah. How are you?
Tak pergi mana-mana ke cuti?
Oh, ada plan jadi. So,
Terima kasih Cik Ruhaizi. Oh, ramai ni alumni ESAN, Environmental Health Society, Student Association. Penny, oh lama tak jumpa Penny. Oh, sama master Penny.
Promote ni doktor master kita dekat alumni ni.
Apa dia dah? Sorry?
Kita kena promote master program ni dekat alumni.
Sekejap ni buat testimoni.
Also on behalf of program director, saya juga ucapkan terima kasih sebab banyak sangat soalan yang rasa sportif, terutamanya. So terima kasih banyak-banyak. So keep up. Ada 2 lagi kumpulan. So insyaAllah.
Syamil boleh share experience sikit lah 2 semester with our master's program. Okay tak so far?
It's a good program lah. So UiTM tawarkan 1.5 year sahaja for master coursework. So you say it's quite cramped. Of course lah, stress tu sentiasa kat mana-mana, tempat kerja pun stress, kerja pun stress. We have to manage, pandai manage lah for ourselves, how we deal with that situation. So it's good knowledge. Banyak yang saya pelajar waktu master ni, dan banyak yang boleh implement in my career path lah.
Syamil dulu background apa? Maybe
saya degree in civil engineering.
Civil engineering. So do you feel the shift or the transition, is it different approach from what you had during your bachelor's degree?
From bachelor degrees, maybe not that, adalah sedikit, tapi kebanyakan is we talk about civil engineering memang belajar semua. We belajar OSHA law, kita belajar environmental punya water. So I think it's tak.
Kat mana dulu Syamil?
Saya kat UTHM.
UTHM, okay. Different field, different varsity. So sure you have perception mungkin lain sikit, UiTM macam mana, UTHM macam mana kan. So
mungkin lah, tapi saya tak berani nak comparekan sebab ini adalah macam master student, mungkin a bit relax sedikit lah sebab mostly we have experience. So I think saya pun dah degree last grad pun 2016. So coming back to study in 2024.
Lama juga. Okay.
Saya dah tua dah tu. So itu tu lah. Challenge yang mana yang sudah Tama tinggalkan master to study, to come back to study again. So it's quite challenging lah. Banyak yang item-item yang macam tools yang kita tak pernah guna waktu degree dulu, kita try to explore in this master's course lah. Macam tu. For example, Canva. So
Canva.
Yeah, that is one of the tools lah. So dulu kita tak belajar benda tu. So kita just design using whatever that we have lah during that time.
Right, good.
So mungkin lain ada nak share, Zuraini ke? Semua malu ni. pagi-pagi lagi.
Nak kena share ke?
Boleh je.
Boleh lah, as a radioactive officer, how you experience?
Okay, Assalamualaikum dan selamat pagi. Saya Zuliani. So saya currently working as Radiation Protection Officer di Istana Kehakiman dalam field facility management. And actually I punya background coming from biotechnology di UiTM juga, alumni tahun 2019. Tapi waktu dalam biotech tu dia course yang baru actually. So ada a bit belajar pasal environmental. So tak adalah, and even I working as radiation protection officer sekarang pun dia tak ada switch banyak pun dengan environmental sebab radiation sendiri pun melibatkan environmental punya isu lah. So far boleh catch up sebab daripada biotech change to environment tak ada masalah lah macam tu. Tu je lah my thought.
Good Zoom. Cik Aida yang tengah trending dekat Ehsan group members ni.
Aduh lah, itulah. Saya memang recommend jugalah this program to all alumni and then yang bukan alumni jugalah, because this program dia okay sebab satu semester 6 kali physical class saja. So I think that will be helpful lah untuk saya yang jauh di Terengganu and then I have to go to Selangor every month tu, should be okay for 4 months punya program. And then daripada segi content wise, I think pun for those yang memang coming from environmental background, okay. Cuma yelah, and then satu lagi we are living in AI punya AI punya world kan, so I think that will be so helpful. Dia banyak tools yang boleh guna pakai lah, so I think whatever yang kita ada ni is beneficial to kita semua lah, dan saya suggest and promote lah this program to all of you. Alright.
Thank you Aida. Okay, break kejap. 10:45 kan?
Yep, another 3 minutes and I will start for the next presentation, Doctor.
And then I see ada additional question dekat chat box tu, mungkin nanti later on group tu akan reply in the chat box for your answer. Thank you.
Alright, so is everybody is here? If yes, please give a thumbs up. All right. So welcome back, everyone. I hope you're all still excited for the next group presentation. Okay, so we have two more presentations and then we are about to end this session. We will now continue with the Group 3 presentation titled Building Responsibly, Managing Construction Waste for a Healthier Future. In the construction industry, waste management is often overlooked. So this group will explore on how we can minimize the construction waste and maximize the recycling of materials, contributing to a more sustainable built environment. So without further ado, I kindly invite Group 3 to begin the presentation.
Okay, we come back. Thank you for staying. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to our program advisor, Professor Dr. Farah binti Shafi, Dr. Subramaniam, ESCO, Malaysian Association of Environmental Health, MAE, all respected panel members and everyone present today. My name is Muhammad Badrul bin Hassan, one of the Student Master of Environmental Health and Safety in coursework in Faculty of Health Science at UiTM Puncak Alam. So on behalf of my team, Muhammad Shafiq, please give a thumbs up. Muhammad Shafiq. Zuraini, Wan Hafizal. Yeah. Nurul Sazwani. And the last one is Shamimi. All right, thank you. Okay, I would like to present our chosen topic entitled Managing Construction Waste for a Healthier Future. This topic was thoroughly discussed during our first group discussion session held on the 19 June 2025 at PJ Eco Recycling Plaza. We were honored to have a valuable insight and contribution from the key stakeholder in the construction and waste management industry, including Construction Industry Development Board, CIDB. I believe Cik Afif was here. Please can give a thumbs up, Encik Afif. China's second one is China State Construction Engineering Corporation, Encik Faizal. Worldwide Holding Berhad. And the last one is from Faculty of Civil Engineering, University Technology Mara, Dr. Rosmawati. Thank you for coming. We all team appreciate it. So this FGD session has successfully concluded and will lead to develop a manuscript intended for publication, highlighting the key issues, challenges, and proposed strategies for effective construction waste management in Malaysia. Thank you once again for the opportunity to share our works. As we all know, Malaysia is developing fast. The city and the built infrastructure have been running every day, but concurrently the construction waste also increase every day. So as of today, what percentage that you guys think that waste is generated from the construction site? Maybe you guys can try to guess how many percent the waste that generated from the construction waste. Can I leave it the answer on the check box? How many percent? Maybe I want to see the answer from Mas Ayu. Okay, 60%, 40%, 50%, around that. Okay, close. So, in fact, as of today, on average today, about 30 to 35% of material in the construction site activity project end up become a waste. So this percent is quite high recently. So the waste can be seen as a thing like we have a concrete, we have waste from timber, we have waste from bricks, steel, and plastic. So that they generate during the construction stage until the project end. So what is basically the problem raising from that? You guys can try guess also. What is basically problem raising from that? Maybe someone can try. What the basic problem rising from that, from the waste? Never mind, I just proceed. To answer this is very simple. We don't have a proper national policy. Yeah, poor management, some of that. But we don't have a proper national policy to manage this specific type of waste. So without a better system in place, we will see the illegal dumping, environmental pollution, and public health concern. And this issue don't just affect the environment, but it's effect also for the community and the people nearby. Okay. From the session 1 of focus group discussion, we are focused on several key themes to understand about the construction waste issue. Okay, number one, we move to number 1 is current practice and key challenge. Now let's focusing to the current practice and key challenge in managing construction waste in certain project site. Okay, on the ground to managing construction waste is not easy. At the site level, many projects face a challenge like limited space dumping area. Another one is high cost of disposal, and often rely on foreign workers who may not proper training in waste segregation. All of this issue was highlighted by the China State Construction Engineering Corporation by Encik Faizal. From the governance perspective, we have got multiple agencies but weak enforcement and no central coordination. Or I can say still there is area for improvement. Executive institutions like CIDB, SNW Corp face challenge in enforcing, monitoring, and speeding recycle activities practiced at the construction site. Okay. The power of existing legislation is limited by Malaysia, so break up the enforcement. There is also lack of awareness. Many construction management teams do not fully understand about the tools like Malaysian Carbon Reduction and Environment Sustainability Tools, MICRES. I'm not sure you guys are familiar with MICRES or not, but the MICRES is a building rating tools, links sustainability purpose to guide and assess the environmental impact of the built environment by qualified personal trainer. Or the benefit of using digital solution like building information modeling, so-called BIM. Right. Moving forward to the second one is policy, regulation, and governance. So of course, none of these can work without strong policy and enforcement. So basically, Malaysia already has the Environmental Quality Act 1974 and the Solid Waste and the Public Cleansing Management Act 2007, which is provide a basic framework to manage all the waste. Local council do play a role in enforcing sustainable waste practice, but coordination and implementation are still inconsistent. But moving forward, we need a dedicated national policy on construction waste, something that aligns with circular economy goals and provides a clear guideline to the industry. With better coordination and strong awareness, we can turn policy into the actual action. Next is environmental and health impact. So we often focus on the visible mass, but the health impact is very more important. So firstly, Worldwide Holding Berhad highlight the health impact towards worker and nearby resident where the release of fine particulate matter, PM10, which is referred to the particulate matter with a diameter of 10 micrometer or less from a dumping of construction debris such as dust, cement particles, combustion emission, which is lead to respiratory illness, including asthma, bronchitis, and lung function weaken. The stagnant waste on site also create the perfect breeding ground for mosquitoes and rat, so increasing the risk of dengue cases, malaria, and other vector-borne disease. Then the lead sheet. The lead sheet is also highlighted by worldwide hoarding Berhad, the toxic liquid that seep into soil and groundwater, putting nearby communities at the risk, exposed to the risk. Other than that, lead sheet from the waste has the potential to cause the death of aquatic life within 5 to 10 kilometers if it's reversed untreated, showing the severe ecological and health impact of unmanaged waste runoff. Not forget for the mental and emotional stress for the people living near the poorly managed site. It creates also sense of environmental injustice where certain groups suffer from this issue. Item 4 is circular economy approach. One of the key solutions we highlight is adopted a circular economy. Right now, most construction projects use material only once, and then they just throw it away. Okay, but imagine if we could reuse and recycle, it's much more better. Material like concrete, steel, mostly steel, we just sell back to another market, and timber can be saved from the demolition site and repurposed. It also about collaboration between developer, recycler, contractor, and government agency. Various stakeholders are already involved in addressing construction waste in Malaysia. To truly achieve it, we need to cross collaboration among government agency, the private sector, and educational institution. This interdisciplinary convergence is crucial for strengthening the urban resilience. Others countries have shown that this model is work. Like we have Singapore, Thailand, Japan, as well as US. Not only does it reduce landfill waste, it also creates a new business opportunity and job in material recycling. For example, Singapore have a zero waste master plan. For instance, aims to cut landfill use by 30% by 2030 and has achieved a 99% recycling rate for the C&D waste. The country enforced mandatory on-site segregation and convert incinerated ash into the construction materials while fostering public participation through national recycling campaign. Japan also employ a legislation lead model through its construction material recycling law, which mandates the recycling of key materials like concrete, wood, and asphalt. This has resulted in recycling rates exceeding 90%. So thanks to the strong regulatory oversight and collaboration between the public and private sector. Australia promote market-based incentive via Green Star rating system, which reward projects that incorporate waste reduction, material reuse, and sustainable practice. Thailand, through its National Waste Management Master Plan, prioritize the reuse of construction waste in the government project and invest in urban recycling center to reduce landfill dependency. Other than that, the industrialized building system (IBS) is a construction method where the building components are produced off-site in a controlled environment and then assembled on-site. This approach to improve efficiency, quality, and speed of construction while potentially reducing cost and waste. It's also known as a prefabricated construction or a modern method of construction, MMC in bracket. So in Malaysia, The government has been actively promoting the adoption of IBS, which to ensure the construction industry productivity and efficiency. The Construction Industry Development Board, CIDB, plays a key role in promoting and regulating IBS practice. The system is classified as eco-friendly and green building materials in Malaysia according to MC Alias Poly CC, which are developed by Malaysian Ministry of Higher Education under Department of Polytech Education and Community College. Waste to energy by Worldwide Holding Berhad refer to the process that convert non-recyclable waste material into the usable form of energy, primarily electricity and heat. This technology help reduce reliance on fossil and minimize the amount of waste sent to the landfill. About 1 million tons of waste can be converted into energy to generate around 1 megawatt of electricity, which is sufficient to power approximately 2,000 households. So we need a shared system that value materials not as a waste, but also as a resources. Moving forward to the holistic urban health approach. When we talk about the sustainable development, we cannot separate it from the health. So a truly urban health approach means looking at the bigger picture, not just a waste, but how it affects people well-being. So the China State Construction Engineering Corporation from the Encik Faisal emphasized the site level effort like fogging, lava siding, and the hygiene monitoring are preventive strategy against vector-borne disease. For example, instead of waiting for the problem to arise, we should involve public health department during the early planning stage of construction. CIDB also highlight that having a thorough environment impact assessment (EIA) by Encik Afif mentioned that integrated from the start, not as an afterthought, ensure that public health is protected throughout the project life cycle. We move to item 7 is best practice in construction waste management. So there is practical solution already being used at some construction site. So CIDB highlight that one of the simplest yet effective step is organizing toolbox tasks, talks and daily briefing. So this is just to keep waste management top of mind of all the workers. This one is maintained and always practiced on site. We have also seen benefit from the proper waste segregation on site with label bins and clear signage. Technology like BIM, RFID tracking system and smart BIM have been introduced to enhance precision in material planning and to streamline waste management operation, allow to better planning and tracking of material, reducing excess waste even before the construction begin. A certification like MyCREST and the Green Building Index not only improve site sustainability, but added value to the project overall. So this is only a small achievable step, but if it's done consistently, they can make a big difference. Lastly, the conclusion is to wrap up all construction waste is not just an environmental problem. It's a public health issue, a social equity issue, and sustainability challenge all in one. If you want to build cities that are truly livable, we must proactive in how we manage the construction waste, from the policy down to the project site. With the right mix of education, the technology, governance, and collaboration, we can make the construction just not a cleaner, but healthier for everyone. Thank you once again, Professor Dr. Farah, and all respected panelists. I'm looking forward to any feedback or question. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Badrul. All right. Now, thank you for your engaging presentation. We will now open the floor for the question and answer session. All right, so all the participants can write your question through the chat box. And I now invite Dr. Subra to ask the questions for this group. Please welcome.
Okay. Thank you to the group 3. Good presentation. I will change my question for this session. Right. You have brought out the issue of environmental health impact assessment. Right. You are mentioning about public health issues from managing construction waste. Now, recently when we were organizing EIA workshop, one of the participants from Ministry of Health, they mentioned that health impact assessment was not prioritized by the project developers, right? And they rejected health impact assessment for construction. Now, how do you think this will affect this particular building responsibility? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Subra, for the question. The answer is when we talk about the EIA, they will also talk about the budget that they have to allocate to give some amount to what we call that, to implement the EIA on site. So basically, I don't know. Mostly like Gamuda, the big player of the developers or contractors, they always give money and allocate some budget to carry out the EIA on the site. Not matter how the budget required, they just invest to ensure that all the projects site base is comply with the EIA and the authority regulation. So I'm not sure which developer that Dr. Subra mentioned, but there is like I see there is like awareness. There's a limitation of budget from the developers that they're not willing to apply and implement the EIA on the site. So maybe there is factor that the developer is not support the EIA regulation or what encouragement. That's my answer.
Yeah, what I'm trying to drive at is this is something to do with policy decision, right? So your recommendation, you're talking about public health. So when we involve environmental health, there should be some public health policy on this. So the public health policy now is affected by what do you call some anomaly in the health impact assessment. All right. No doubt the Ministry of Health is doing health impact assessment, but it is being rejected by the proponent, which means there's no legal, there's no legal tool. So maybe this is the forum where you can bring in the local government or the Jabatan Kerajaan Tempatan, come out with some regulation under the Uniform Building Bylaws, right?
To tighten the rules and regulation.
Yeah, it must come under rules and regulation. EIA itself is a tool, but it cannot do what you're suggesting just now, and what you are mentioning is very serious matter. But in the long run, building construction and also the building management will have a health impact on the people who reside in there, especially in the urban populations. Anyway, I think I'll rest there. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Subra.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Subra and Mr. Badrul. And now I open or invite Dr. Pravina for any questions for this topic.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Nurul Aida. Okay, Encik Badrul, saya ada satu soalan sahaja. So, in your opinion, with that all the listed material yang datang dari construction, which one do you think it's more suitable for recycling in Malaysian current infrastructure?
infrastructure. So the best material to recycle, I think the bricks lah, the bricks and also steel. And also the concrete, because the timber, once we use the timber, they already damaged and we cannot. I mean, I don't know. Maybe some companies can turn timber to another recycle material, but for the concrete, steel and bricks, we can use directly to the. Let's say we conduct. We construct one project. Then the waste from the concrete, steel and bricks, we can use back to another project. So that we keep on using these same materials. For the plastic timber, I basically we just dispose on the appointed contractors to collect all the material.
So there is a practice of recycling this construction waste elsewhere, not in Malaysia, as far as you know.
For me, the basic practice on the construction activities, the reuse methods, usually they use the concrete, the treatment lah, concrete, steel and bricks, because some of excessive concrete or bricks, they reuse back for the temporary roads, for the heavy traffic around the project site. By using the for users of lorry or the another vehicles lah, so that they use back the material for recycle.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mr. Badru.
All right.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Pravina. All right, now, Mr. Badru, we have two questions from the chat box. All right, so the first questions from Mr. Muhammad Ruhaizi. So the question is, can you elaborate more on how construction waste can be converted into energy? If this could be done, don't you think that TNB or other power providers should buy this waste at a cheaper price and then they can turn it into money for their benefits? So can you answer for that question?
Okay, to answer question from the Encik Ruhaizi. So as for your information, worldwide Odin Berhad is currently build up one plant for the waste to energy nearest at the Jeram, Kuala Selangor. That plant is used the purpose to the recycle back all the construction, all the waste into the energy. So as far as I know, the reuse materials that produced by the waste generate by the plant by the worldwide. For example, the construction waste, bricks and concrete, they will reuse back. Then they burn into the what we call the combustion. Then they recycle back and reproduce new materials of bricks. So instead of concrete damage or the brick damage, they reproduce back the new material for the combustion to the ash and reproduce new material. For example, like brick lah, as far I know lah. So some the plant also, like I mentioned before, the plant also generate about, I check back my slide lah. One million ton of waste, if not mistaken, is mentioned by Worldwide Odin Berhad, can generate is about electricity for 2,000 household. So meaning that 1 million tons of waste can be converted into energy to generate 1 megawatt of electricity. So means that the power can sufficient to give power approximately for the 2,000 household. So the plant also generate the power from the waste into the electricity. Is it answer for the Cik Rozaimi question? For the selling power to TMB, I'm not sure. Maybe there is some business or some profit that worldwide Odin Berhad can get from the investment to selling back the electricity to TMB lah. But how far the
Implementation.
agreement between worldwide and TMB, as for now, I'm not sure lah. But there is a future agreement from worldwide and the TMB to sell it.
Right. I think if that could be implemented, that will be beneficial for both parties lah. I mean to the management and then to the TNB as well. So I think that will be a good approach, or maybe we can find the solution towards that lah. All right. So thank you, Mr. Badrul. There is one more question. All right. Cik Wan, do you have any answer for that question?
So for the question from the Muhammad Rahizi bin Riyazi, so I want to add, actually for the construction waste, there are a mutual agreement from the construction company between the landfill area provider, from example from worldwide. So the Gamuda will be send the construction waste to worldwide, and worldwide can process the the waste, and then after that the waste will be to turn to energy. This is the for the waste to energy, only worldwide will be conduct that the energy. So for the energy, the consumption for worldwide will be sold to TMB, and then TMB we send to generate the energy to husband use. Okay, that's all for me.
All right, now we moved on to the second question from the chat box from Mr. Muhammad Rahizi as well. So the question is, what is your opinion if the management of the construction waste can be compulsory to be assessed in EIA or EHIA monitoring?
Assalamualaikum dan selamat pagi. I'm from Group 3. So my name is Zuriani binti Muhammad Tarmidi. So to answer the question number 2 given by Encik Muhammad Ruhaizi bin Riyazi. So the question is, what is your opinion if the management of construction waste can be compulsory to be assessed during EIA or EHIA monitoring? So to answer your question is that construction waste, if poorly managed, it can cause pollution, also have risk and even problems like blocked drains and illegal dumpings. So to prevent these issues, construction waste management should be made a compulsory part of environmental impact assessment (EIA) and also the environmental health impact assessment monitoring, both of it, because by including both of the EIA and EHIA, the developers are required to plan ahead, which is such as sorting waste, recycling, and using licensed disposal methods. So this can promote accountability and reduce harm to the environment and also the nearby communities that live nearby the construction. So it also support Malaysia's sustainability goals and also global efforts like the SDGs, especially SDG 11, which is sustainable cities, and also SDG 12, responsible consumption and production. Okay, this proper waste control can help reduce landfill use and also greenhouse gas emissions. But the clear guidelines and also enforcement and also interagency coordination are crucial to make this effective. So is it answer your question? Okay, thank
All
you.
right. All right, thank you, Ms. Zuriani. Okay, I think that should be to sum up this presentation. That's the end of the question and answer for this group. Before we moving on to the final presentation, let us watch a brief video highlighting one focus group discussion, which was held at Eco Recycling Plaza, Petaling, Jaya. And then we would like to extend our sincere thanks to Majlis Bandaraya Petaling Jaya, MBPJ, and Malaysian Association Environmental Health, MAE, and also our strategic partners for their contributions to the success of this session. Please enjoy the video.
This one program hari ni NGP program kan mendapat GRFI untuk program macam ni feedback macam good untuk kita policy yang expensive university suka benda.
Well, for me, I think this is a very good program, fruitful in discussion, and this kind of program dia bagi banyak peluang pada industry player macam kami untuk share our thoughts. Because sometimes our industry, we are so busy and focused about making money or maybe process of revenue or making profit, but we forget about our responsibility towards the public, towards the environment. So this FDD, I think, is a good program platform for us to come together, meet industry player, and of course academic people as well, to share our thoughts and learn from each other. All the best. Thank you.
Okay, satu feedback yang saya dapat ringkaskan, satu platform di mana kita daripada panel dapat berkongsi lah kepakaran, ilmu, pengetahuan untuk bagi input yang baik lah untuk kajian ataupun forum yang kita akan buat nanti lah. Satu medan kita dialog, kita dapatkan perkara-perkara yang terkini yang boleh membantu kajian selanjutnya lah, dan boleh buka ruang untuk kita menulis satu sama lain jugalah.
Dari segi tajuk untuk hari ini?
Tajuk untuk hari ini berkaitan dengan managing construction waste for healthy culture ni adalah satu platform di mana kita tahu pengurusan pembinaan, lagi-lagi pembinaan ni lah, ini salah satu yang kita perlu beri perhatian lah. Jadi banyaklah mekanisme, apa pihak kepentingan yang perlu, apa had kerja, apa pun tanggungjawab daripada industri, kontraktor, pekerja, pihak berkuasa tempatan, peranan lah dekat situ.
So rating 5 daripada 5 untuk event hari ni.
Oh, rating kita bagi 49.
Terima kasih.
Sesuatu yang bagus lah untuk kita lihatkan sebenarnya. Semoga mungkin lepas ni apa boleh review sekali kita besok hari ni. Rating hari ni daripada 5 star. Saya bagi 5. Sebab saya walaupun first time saya datang, so saya dengan student pun kita dapat basic communication dengan student, so kita rasa macam tak rasa
kekok lah.
So dengan kita jumpa team kita dari industri pun diorang pun sama-sama bantu dan dapat jadi kawan. Sebagai saya sesuatu yang bagus lah, sesuatu yang bagus. Thank you. Thank you.
Alhamdulillah, sangat seronok dan sangat bagi informatif. All the inputs are useful lah, saya rasa. Memang very important untuk kita punya manuscript, and kita akan find the best solution for each issues yang kita highlighted.
Okay, rating 5 star?
5 star, dan kita harapkan A+ saja ni.
Semua
orang.
All right, thank you for the videos. I hope that Dr. Farah take note on the last message from the students. All right, now it's time for our final presentation. We welcome Group 4 who will present on the topic from compliance to the commitment, industry role in climate action. This group are focused on the global climate crisis, urging for the immediate action in emission reduction, sustainable energy sources, and global collaboration to combat climate change on all fronts. Please welcome Group 4.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good morning. I'm Shukri, Students Masters in Environment, Health and Safety by coursework UiTM. I represent Focus Group Discussion, Group 4, and will be presenting on the Malaysia Deforestation Crisis and Urgent Needs in title of Bridging Compliance and Commitments, Deforestations and Climate Resilience in Malaysia. Okay, and today's presentation is the outcome from the focus group discussion that was conducted at PJ Eco Recycling Plaza, 19 June 2024. And it's been honored to have 4 distinguished panels during the sessions, which is coming from the various background, from the FRIM, Forest Research Institute Malaysia, Institute Science of Biology, University Malaya, Voltex Energy, as well as Innovate Age. And then from the FGD, the discussions, we analyze the outcome and transfer into 6 interesting main topics, which I will be presenting after this under the manuscript that will be published soon. Okay, we shall move to our main agenda on our outcome from the FGD. Okay, for the first one, the part 1, as an introduction under context and problems on the Malaysia forest crisis, we know that Malaysia, we have one of the largest tropical forests in the world. Okay, however, in this current stage, our tropical forests are vanishing at alarming rates, that's exposing a critical disconnect between policy compliance as well as through environmental stewardships. So, from the discussions, we surface out a few issues from our forests, especially on the forest deforestations. Okay, first, Malaysia tropical forests are vital for biodiversity and climate regulations. So, the forests serve as a giant or mega filtrations act to sink the carbons, regulate the water cycles, as well as supports countless endemic species which native at our country only. So they are essentials not only for Malaysia ecological balance, but also for the global climate commitments. Second, however, in 2024 alone, 101,000 hectares of the lands of the Malaysian forests were lost, which emitting 70.9 million metric tons of CO2. It's a quite huge number of releasing CO2 to the air. So this single year loss contributes to the significantly to the greenhouse gas emissions, and at the same time, it's like macam undermining national and international climate targets, which is we are very advocates and our targets and commitments towards our SDG, but with these numbers is show a difference. Okay, and it reflects a continuing trend of forest degradation despite our existing environmental policy that we have in Malaysia. Okay, and the third one, there's a growing disconnect between policy compliance and real environmental commitments. Okay, while ESG frameworks and ISO standard we have in place, but all efforts remain at the surface level, which focus on the regulatory checkbox only, rather than have a meaningful and long-term stewardship on our natural resources. Okay, and lastly, we found that the crisis is driven by urban expansion, definitely coming from the large palm oil plantations as well as industrial developments. So this activity not only accelerate deforestations but also fragmentize our ecosystem as well as threaten our biodiversity and jeopardize the livelihood of the indigenous and rural communities who depends on the forest resource. Okay, next we move to the second part, forest as a climate infrastructure. As I mentioned early on, forest is not just only another type of land in our world. It's a climate infrastructure. It's not only the biodiversity hotspots, they are natural climate infrastructure, act like a mega filtrations, filter, regulate water cycles, stabilize soils, and act as a carbon sinks mechanism and transfer to the good air back to the nature. Okay, however, based on the displayed graph, we can see the ones in the pink color. Okay, from 2021 to 2024, we lost 9.51 million hectares of tree, which cover 32% of 2,000 forest area, which resulting to the 5.51 gigatons of CO2 emissions to the air. It's a huge number. Okay, this forest, as I mentioned, play a critical role first on the water regulations, they sustain hydrological cycles and reduce others nature disaster such as flood. Second, stabilize the soil, prevent erosions and maintain the fertility. Okay, and the third one is carbon sequestrations, absorbing atmospheric CO2 and produce goods and a fresh air back to the nature. Yet, land use policy often undervalue these roles, which is they are prioritized on the short-term economic gains, for example, for the industry, over the long-term resilience that offered by our forests. Okay, next we move to the third point between policy and commitments. What is the gaps? What is the actual gaps? Okay, as we know, Malaysia has adopted ESG frameworks. Some of the companies adopted ISO standards to govern their companies to meet with the certain national standards such as ISO 14,000, 50K, 50K or 50,000, but the enforcement is inconsistent. Compliance often means meeting the minimum legals or market requirements because some of the industry require that checkbox to be ticked prior the we call as to proceed with the next kind of the business. The true commitments demands proactive, integrated environment stewardships, and many industry adopt sustainability practice for cost saving or internal pressure, not due to their punya value that they can see from the preserve ataupun avoid these deforestations happen. Okay, in a nutshell, without accountability, ESG efforts risk becoming the surface level gesture only. So we must shift towards from the transformative practice to embed our sustainability into our core business strategies as well as the governance. So it's like macam besides we comply, we need to have the commitments to move beyond what we have, beyond what we only practice currently to tick the checkbox only. Okay, next, the fourth from the FGD, all the panels conclude that a Malaysian climate resilience strategy rests on the three interconnected pillars. Okay, the first, before that, this is aligned as well with our RED Plus framework. Okay, reducing emission from deforestation and forest degradations. Strengthen each of these by providing tools, metric and mechanism that align with our Malaysian national and global sustainability goals as well. Okay, the first pillar is the ecological science. As we know, Malaysia forests are ecological infrastructure with the multiple roles: carbon sinks, biodiversity reservoir, regulator for the water and soil system. And we agree during that time, we have to expand forest genomics research okay, to improve a species resilience and carbon sequestrations. Okay, this is important because our species in our forest, especially the native one, sometimes they require the larger of the supports from the ecosystem of the forest. It's not only depends on the certain species, for example, the single trees, but it requires all connections of the ecosystem in the forest to make sure they can continue to live and support their life. Okay, second, to promote mid-species reforestation to restore ecological balance and long-term carbon sink. Okay, this is important because mid-species reforestation is really essential. The forests are not only built from the million years ago by the single species inside the forest ataupun the single tree. It's a combination. It's a mix of species where all the species are related to each other, support each other mutually for their survivability until today. So this is important. Beside kita ada macam single type of species we call as a macam deforestation, but we plant the single bamboo type of a landscape, but we need to consider to mix all the species of this plant to provide the actual ecosystem to restore the balance between the ecological. Okay, and lastly, to enable community lead forest monitoring to uphold traditional knowledge and stewardship. Okay, this is knowledge preserve by we enable the community to transfer back all the knowledge on the forest into the proper channels and store. Okay, the second pillar is industrial innovations. Okay, Malaysia must transition from resource-intensive practice to sustainable productions and clean energy. Okay, under the incentivize the circular economic models, this is what we can reduce the waste and improve our resource efficiency. Okay, second, to deploy the IoT, sensor and AI dashboard for the real-time environmental monitoring. And lastly, to scale the community project, for example, the community project that give the less impact to our forest. For example, the solar project, instead of build the new power plants to reach until the rural area, but this solar project is very mobile and the placements are not until destroy our forest. Especially at the same time, we want to enhance our rural settlements like Felda and etc. Okay, the third pillar is a governance reform. Okay, effective climate governance require policy integrations, transparency, as well as stakeholder collaborations. So during the sessions, we agreed that we have embedded climate metrics into ISO certifications like ISO 14,000 and 50,000, as well as we have to establish multi-stakeholder climate councils to co-design and monitor policy. It's not only at the government's levels, same goes to the industrial levels or NGO levels, but we need to have the participation from the peoples, the communities to be inside the stakeholders as well. Okay, and lastly, to mandate the climate risk disclosure in the corporate filings. Okay, this one is really important. Besides, we have the reporting through the ISO 14,000 or 50,000, but we need to have the very structured filings and risk disclosure inside the each corporate filings and companies. Okay, next we move to the part 4. Okay, reframing deforestation. Deforestation must be reframed as a systemic risk. This is not only an environmental risk, but it's a systemic risk, and it's not just only focus on the environmental, but the impact can be prolonged into the whole type of the risk as well. It fragments ecosystem, increase the vulnerability to the climate shocks, as well as make the rural economic unstabilized. Okay, the solution must be cross-sectional. Okay, urban planning with the green infrastructure, mixed species on the forest stations, Agriculture adopt with the agroforestry and permaculture practice, and reforestation prioritize on the native species and ecological corridors, not monocular plantation, the single type of the plantation. Okay, this successful case we can see in the Sabah as well as our neighbor Philippines show that community-led ecological restoration is viable and impactful and can be implemented and conducted. And lastly, from the discussion, we concluded that forests must be a central to our climate agenda and development agenda. Fragmented of these forests will be fragmented the effort as well. It won't deliver lasting resilience. Okay, we must invest in the forest intelligence, scale up our circular economy models, and commit to the climate integrated governance. So by aligning science, industry, policy, as well as supported by the tools by Ministry of Natural Resource and Environment Malaysia, RED Plus, we can lead the region in the ecological stewardships and green economic developments. So let's move beyond compliance. Let's commit to the resilience for the better future our Malaysian forests. Okay, that's all from our group. I would like to thank you for all your attentions, and I welcome any questions or reflections or feedbacks. Thank you. Back to Miss MC.
Thank you, Mrs. Sukri, for your insightful presentation. We will now open the floor for a 10-minute question and answer session for Group 4. Let us first give the floor to Dr. Subramaniam as our assessor for any questions for this group.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. I have a couple of questions. The first one, our land coverage from forests in Malaysia is very, very critical, at a very critical level. We are talking about sustainable development, but at the same time, we have loss of forestation. In this case, all those forests that we have already cut down, right? Are we going into a reforestation of that area now?
Okay, our forest is unique. It's not the normal forest, primer or secondary forest that can be introduced in the short-term way. Our tropical forest exists from the billion years ago, which require complex composition of air, soil, and everything. So to restore back to our nature origin, forest is almost impossible. But we can have the replacements of the forests, like I shared in the previous presentations, by having reforestations by combinations of the species, the trees, the fauna, the animals, to mix to what we call to provide the ecosystems, mini ecosystems. That's what we can practice now, instead of to bring back the whole set of the tropical forest.
Yeah, you're mentioning in the last paragraph about RED, right? But the current move is not just RED, but it's RED plus, REDD plus, right? So I think we should go in the direction of REDD plus, right? Because the developed countries are targeting the developing countries. So in that case, we need to defend ourselves. That is why I asked that question just now, right? So I thank you for that answer. I'll rest for the time being.
Thank you, Dr. Subra. Thank you for the feedback.
Thank you, Dr. Subramaniam. And now we open the questions to Dr. Pravina. Maybe you have a question for this topic.
Yes, thank you, Puan Nurul Aida. Thank you, Encik Shukri, for your presentation. I just have one question. What is your opinion on the disconnection between the policy compliant or disconnection between environmental policy and industry or agriculture expansion that you mentioned in your presentation just now? Any opinion on that, the disconnection?
Okay, based on the focus group discussion, especially we have a balanced composition of the academics from the FRIMS as well as UM and industrial perspective. Okay, there's a disconnect between policies and the commitments. That's why our titles we I think that the third ones really reflects on the questions between the commitments and the compliance. Okay, the compliance is something that you drive based on the requirements being driven by the policy. Okay, but the act is beyond than that. Kalau kita focus on the compliance, we are focusing on the what is the checkbox we want to tick to move forwards. We want to tick all the checkbox and our effort based on that checkbox only. But the commitment is something yang proactive, integrated, and something yang beyond the compliance to meet the certain policy. That's my opinions and our opinions, and I think we discussed these things during our focus group discussions, and we agree that we need more than compliance. But to instill that commitment is something yang very challenging. It should start from the beginning, from the young generations until to the large companies and etc.
All right, thank you, Mr. Shukri. Thank you, Puan Aida. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr.
All right, thank you, Dr. Pravina, and also Mr. Shukri. And we also have two questions from the chat box. Okay, I read the first one. The first question is, Malaysia is a developing country, no doubt. There will be more development done, but at the cost of deforestation and land use. So there is a fine line of mediating between both development and forest conservation. So what can we do to maintain so that both aspects won't be affected? Mr. Shukri?
Okay, first, for the first questions, thank you so much to the Mr. Amza Zafri Alimi for the question.
All right.
Okay, at the same time, the development is important and essential so that we can enjoy both economic growth as well as the benefits from that to uplift our living society and style and so on. However, we need to ensure that we can enjoy both economic growth as well as forest conservations without compromising. Either a balanced strategic approach is crucial. So based on my opinions, okay, we need to strengthen sustainability forest management policy so that Malaysia, currently Malaysia has been updating its forestry policy. For example, National Forestry Act. Local, we have a Sabah Forestry Act, Sarawak Forest Policy, okay, to prioritize sustainability management over timber-centric approach atau land clearing to allow the industry to be built, okay. And second, innovative. I think is required innovative financing for the conversations. So we need to think about and move to the introduction of instrument, for example, forest conservation certificates to spark beside the developments of the industry, but they can drive for some things to achieve, and at the same time they can bring value back to dia punya industrial punya backgrounds ataupun achievement. Okay, we need to promote as well and enforce green developments planning. Okay, this one, all development projects or the project shall adhere rigorously with the environmental maybe impact assessments, EIA. And inside the one of the elements, if I'm not mistaken, under the chapter 4 of the EIA is a focus on the biodiversity, the subtopics, and we need to strengthen on the requirement there. This is require our local authority as well to strengthen on these EIA parts. I think the last EIA revisions back last 10 years, they start to focus on other industries so that we have a detailed EIA, but now the content of the EIA need to be strengthened as well. Okay, I think that's some of my opinions lah, Alia. I think there's a lot of sebenarnya so that we can join between industrial growth to to uplift our living style, as well as at the same time we preserve our forests as a climate infrastructure. And one more point. If I remember, during my third point, we shall anchor forest as a anchor of the development. Okay, instead of we anchor the industrial as a development. That's another message lah. Okay, Alia, back to you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Shukri. There is one more question from Mr. Zaf. What's your thought about the development of artificial carbon sequestration alternatives such as carbon capture storage utilization (CCUS), and how is it to compare with the natural carbon sink, which is forest?
Okay, this initiative quite close to me. I'm coming from this industry yang really focus on the carbon capture initiative. We have a storage and utilization. Their utilization, however, very difficult because you want to capture the carbons at the beginning of the sources. Okay, for example, at the oil and gas plants, these units of carbon capture shall be installed at a certain part of their process so they can capture the carbons and transfer into the unharmful materials. It's something yang good, but it's a very specific to the that industry, particular industry or the source only. Okay, but forest is a climate infrastructure. The capacity, the demands, the punya production rates is something yang we cannot measure. I believe everybody can agree with me if something yang we cannot measure the capacity to capture the carbons and release to this to as a oxygens lah. Okay, but this carbon capture storage is something yang limited. It's a very centric focus to the process and the materials yang related saja, dan dia require extensive maintenance because the material yang filtered through this captured storage requires certain parts of the filtration and so on. But it's better have than we don't initiate nothing. That's all.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shukri, for your very thoughtful answers for the questions. All right, I think we have now come to the end of today's program. I believe that there is no more questions. And before we officially conclude this forum, I would like to take a moment to capture these memorable events. So kindly turn on your cameras for a quick group photo. So let's make sure we are all in the frames, yeah? So we have 38 participants here. So please make sure that there will be 38 participants in one frame. All right. So AJK Multimedia will look for these frames, yeah. Okay, so who will be in charge for photo taking? Alia, is it?
I'll be, yes, me.
Yeah, can you please count? Or maybe...
Okay, wait a minute.
We might have two versions, one formal and then the other one we might do some freestyle, thumbs up, something like that.
All right, sure.
Okay.
Okay, everyone's ready? So we will have our formal picture first. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. All right, so another one more, freestyle.
Okay, please show all the thumbs up, right?
Okay. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, thank you.
All right, we're all good. Okay, now thank you so much, everyone. So this photo will serve as a reminder of these meaningful discussions and collaborations we have had today. It's been an enriching experience, and we appreciate each and every one of you for your valuable contributions. We hope this session has brought valuable insights and sparked new ideas for all of us. But before we conclude this forum, kindly take a moment to fill up the feedback form. So please please scan the QR code on the screen or click on the link shared in the chat box. So we spend like about 3 minutes to complete it before we officially end the session. Yeah. All right. Once again, a big thank you to all of our beloved speakers, participants, and strategic partners, especially MBPJ and MAE, for your time, ideas, and energy. This marks the beginning of many more impactful conversations to come. We hope that today's forum will be a continued platform for these meaningful dialogues and the development of actionable solutions to tackle these environmental issues head on. So please, yeah, we would like to thank to Mr. Amza and Mr. Uh, Dr. Subra, Dr. Pravina, and all the participants who actively participate and give questions to all of us. And it's been a pleasure to have you all with us. As your MC today, I would like to apologize for any inconvenience or disruptions that may have occurred throughout the forum. I hope to see you guys again at the next forum or dialogue. Wishing you all the best and have a great day ahead. Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. Please make sure, yeah, all the feedback form has been filled up before you leave this forum. Thank you again.
Thank you, Dr. Subra. Thank you, Dr. Pravina.